Hey Tersse, let it never be said I'm unpredictable because I'm about to go on the worldview thing again. But I'm going to do it in a very concise, brief manner. What you said about worldviews is true. They can be very arbitrary. For instance, you'll never find geopolitical fights over Socrates or Nietzsche, right? You're not going to find that. You will, however, find geopolitical fights over resources. So basically, we are still cavemen, throwing rocks at each other to see who gets the cave or the well. That's basically what's going on. But that alone is not the whole truth, because worldviews do change the way people behave. One very good example, the concept of divine right, the idea, the worldview, if you can call it that kings can do whatever they want because they're placed by God. They can kill as many peasants as they want. They can torture as many peasants as they want because God puts his rubber stamp of approval on that monarch. Well, something called the Enlightenment came along, threw all that away, and replaced it with secularism. And secularism has changed the way a lot of people think ever since the late 18th century. Revolutions came about and things changed. Worldviews do change people's behavior. However, worldviews do come about, but they're never perfect. They're just more functional. No one's talking about creating utopia here. I'm just talking about making a functional world. So I'm not trying to get pie in the sky here. I'm just saying a functional worldview instead of a dysfunctional one. Much like you can have a functional family, you can't have a perfect family, but you can have a functional one as opposed to a dysfunctional one. So, yes. And retaliation is a very good thing because when you do bring out a worldview, whether it be functional or not, the population has no way of knowing truthfully whether in the long haul it's going to be functional or not. So it's very important that you have a foundation that kind of contradicts any new ideology, because if every new ideology succeeded, you'd have like a new ideology like every 10 years. And society becomes so violent that it just would be impossible to sustain anything meaningful. So it's good to have that bedrock of foundation. I think that kind of gives a fight for an ideology. It's kind of like a survival of the fittest of ideologies. The ideologies that work for people stay. The ones that don't get thrown away by the collective. For instance, fascism. Fascism, I think, has been thrown away because it basically denied the autonomy that we as cavemen want. We don't like to be pushed around. But at the same time, we like to have something that kind of enables us a little bit. Like something that addresses Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, at the bottom you've got, shelter, food, and other stages you've got belonging, into a social context of some sort. And then at the very top of the pyramid you have love. So these things are, that's a psychological theory, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I think it's a very consistent one. So how do you find a worldview that gives people that need and gives it to as many people as possible in a consistent, realistic way? And I don't think we have that worldview presently, because we kind of live in a Frankenstein of ideologies right now. The world is very schizophrenic. It doesn't know which idea to hold true to, and I don't want anyone to be claiming absolute truth here. I just want someone to be giving or offering something that provides more cohesion to the globe, to our environment, to our survival as the species. Is it going to be perfect? No, but I think a new worldview is something that needs to come about. Am I going to provide it? No. But it's kind of like being hungry. I don't know exactly what I'm going to eat tomorrow, but I can guarantee you I'm going to be hungry. I don't know if it's going to be a hamburger or if I'm going to be eating crepes or pancakes or what. I have no idea, but I do know I will be hungry. And whatever fits my needs at the time, I'll do it. And that's the same thing for the human species. I'll take what they need at the time. So there is a need right now by the vast majority of people around for a new ideology. And I think we're seeing that in the extinction burst that is going on in religion right now. But I digress.